Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another one of our videos, one of our AANE Insights videos. Today, I'm here with some of our LifeMap personnel, as well as the director of IFS. And I'll just let everybody introduce themselves real quick. Today, we're going to be talking about employment attainment without a college degree. We'll start with uh, we'll start with Ilya slash my mom.
Hi, yeah, I'm the Director of Individual and Family Services, and yeah, I'm excited to get into this topic. But before we move on, Natalia, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Natalia Poto. I'm the director of LifeMap Coaching Program, as well as APCA, Autism Professional Coaching Association, and our IAC training. And I have Jess here as well.
Hi, I'm Jessica Cohen. I'm the Associate Director of the LifeMap Coaching Program, and I am also a LifeMap coach. And I've been a coach for 7 years and really enjoy the work.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to having a good discussion today about, again, getting employment attainment without a college degree and learning a bit of what there is to know about that and what you've learned from working with clients over the years.
Yeah, I would say when I'm working with folks one-on-one or with parents, I think a big question that comes up is, oh no, like my kid doesn't really have a college degree, or they weren't able to finish, or they decided to change. And there's a huge concern about what does employment look like in that. So we figured talking to the Life Map coaches might be a really good way to give people some insight, and to Life Map in general, on what that would look like. So if either one of you want to start.
Sure. I'm happy to jump in. We do a lot of work with clients on employment goals. It's not an uncommon reason why folks may be seeking out coaching support, because a lot of folks are looking for work or looking to be successful in the jobs that we have. And so, our approach with clients that we're working with is essentially the same with or without college degrees. And by that, I mean, we always want to be looking at the individual's um, interests, their strengths, their challenges, how they feel in different environments, and really unpacking what would be a good fit job for them. And that may not be as relevant to individuals who may not be as relevant to their college degree if they have it, and certainly can be pertinent to individuals who don't have a college degree. So we always want to start with that piece of looking at, what are their interests? What are topics that they enjoy talking about? What is subject matter that they did like when they were in school? And what experiences have they had that they enjoyed undertaking? And then from there, we can look at what they see as their strengths, what other people have told them are their strengths as well, because sometimes it's hard for us to see our own strengths, including subjects in school, but things that they did outside of school, and having a healthy assessment of what their challenges are as well. Because, we all have things that are that we do well and things that we struggle with. And so trying to dig a little deeper into what has been difficult or challenging for an individual in the past can help us kind of sort out types of employment that may or may not be a good fit for them, and think about the subject matter they enjoy and how we can provide a nexus between the subject matter they enjoy and the things that they find themselves to be good at or challenged with. Natalia, did you have anything you wanted to add to that piece?
I thought this is really a good, topic because like we definitely have majority of our clients that are in college or do have college degrees. So you would think like, is anyone like we do have clients actually that work um, on jobs that probably are not related to their college degree, or we have a lot of clients that don't have and do not want to pursue college degree and still have jobs. Um, I think I think when I think about like what kind of jobs folks get is like really what Jess said. A lot of the time, it is related to their sort of interests and what they like to do. The most creative one, I think, that I can recall is one of our clients who loved drawing and, having a full-time job as an artist probably is very difficult. And this particular client was his coach was so creative. They've done so many different things, and a place where he kind of stick for a while and was working a part-time job, and I hope he still is there, is a physical therapy office. And what he was doing there, he was sketching actually exercises and assisting basically a physical therapist with variety of different things, probably not only exercises, but variety of different things. So that was quite creative, I thought, considering that they probably wouldn't post that job description, but because of networking and and all kinds of different things, and looking at the client, where they are, what they can offer, how they want to spend their time, how they can make money and all that. That's what they came up with. And probably the most common one would be working with animals. And I think that can go from dog walking to, we had a couple clients that found a job on a dog breeding farm. And that was very interesting because you didn't have, I mean, if you could have a training, specialized training, but this particular case is very memorable for me because those two clients, they just love dogs, right? And they were friends. And once they were hired first part-time, there was a lot of flexibility. And also there was a sort of this idea that if things are going well, they could get certified and work towards their, I think it's a vet technician and a groomer and something else. It was just a variety of options to grow on the job. So that was very interesting that they could be not only, I think they were both hired as animal keepers, and then they had options to grow in their sort of jobs and get training. So anyway, those are just a couple examples that came to mind, and those people did not have jobs. Yeah.
And those examples are great because they also give a sense of how varied different career paths can be for individuals with similar interests. And it also really highlights the importance of knowing yourself and knowing what environmental factors are also important for success on the job. Because again, that's another piece we have to look at, regardless of whether someone has a college degree or not. You may really love animals, but if you can't stand the smell of a shelter or the sound of barking dogs, that might not be the best fit job for you, right? So we want to be thinking about all of these pieces and not just one piece of the analysis when we're trying to put together a plan with our clients as to which direction do you want to go in and explore volunteer opportunities, explore what's out there listed for jobs. And really another important piece, again, that we work on with all of our clients is exploring their network, because many of the jobs out there are not posted, as Natalia was saying. Sometimes jobs can be created or sometimes jobs can be finessed, right? And so often finding our network can be an important piece of identifying different opportunities for people at any level.
Yeah, so as you were saying that, I have a couple of questions. If I were someone who was like really stuck, right? Because the employment process can be so stressful. I heard a whole bunch of things that you said that could be done. How would you suggest someone start, like by preparing? Like, what would be the organization or maybe the steps that one would take first? Because I heard a little bit of, well, finding what environment is really good for me, what are my interests, and what have I done well in the past? What kind of things do I need to watch out for and look for as I'm, seeking employment? Like, what are some of my limitations, or what are some of the challenges that I have, or maybe some accommodations that I might need? And so, like, there's a lot of pieces in there, and so I know sometimes those things come up organically, but I wonder what process could someone take to kind of move in a direction that helps with this.
Well, I can jump in and then I'm sure Natalia has plenty to add. I would say that it depends on where you are. So we meet the client where they are. If it's someone who has an employment history, I often like to start by going through their resume that exists and really thinking about all of the past employment jobs they had. And even if there are things that they wouldn't normally list on a resume because it didn't work out so well, I actually encourage them to create a working document with every job and volunteer experience you've ever had, so we can really go through and unpack what worked and didn't work on that job, for that particular job. What did you like? What did you not like? And what are some characteristics that we can then start making a list of what we're going to look for when we are looking for your ideal job. That's for someone who has had a job experience, but you can really do that with any experiences that they've had in the past. Natalia, do you have anything that you want to
Yeah,
add?
presentation online, not only that resume, but maybe I don't know, Google your name, see what comes up, right? I remember I had a client who loved going out, and he had a lot of reviews that he's done. And maybe majority of reviews were very honest, but with a lot of negative sort of we talked about like what will your potential maybe employer see? How does what can they find? So you have to think about things. How are you presented online? Do you have a LinkedIn account, social media? What comes up? That could be also an important thing to think about. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point, because I think we don't realize everyone has some sort of social media imprint, right? Footprint out there. And it varies depending on what you've engaged in. And I think I've actually heard people think about, look that up and say, oh, wow, maybe I need to do some work around what my presence looks like. So like kind of finding ways to clean that up, reorganize, and then start putting different things down there. And I really like thinking about all types of experience. Because Natalia, I thought where you were going to go with the reviews is that some people do reviews so well and are so detailed in how they do that, that itself, right, shows writing skill, and then shows like how maybe they do reviews for like professionally, or maybe they do freelance work like that. And so it is really cool to think about some things you don't even realize you do can impact employment and building skill in that way.
Yes,
Absolutely.
we had many people actually that worked as freelancers or just anything related to writing. But I want this particular client stand up because he had hard time finding such job. And I remember that when we looked at his sort of online imprint, and it was just a lot of sort of negative writing. And, we don't know what really was the obstacle, but, something to think about. And overall presentation, it can be presentation online, presentation depending what kind of job you want to write, you're searching for. If you have an interview for, I don't know, a groomer, very different when you want to work in a different office, or depending where you are, right? Or if you want to work in a lab, can you really wear all that is required, and so forth. So again, a lot of presentation to think about.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and I'll just add that, like, similar to what you were saying, Elia, about identifying something you're good at, and like perhaps if someone is frequently providing online reviews, maybe something in the world of blogging or writing information for online might make sense. And in a similar vein, a lot of our clients have a very entrepreneurial spirit. And so sometimes once you start unpacking like what the individual might want to do for employment, there may also be opportunities to, are they an artist? Do they want to sell their work somewhere or display their work somewhere? Are they someone who likes to do freelance work? Do they like the flexibility of that? Because there are also options out there. They're not, the traditional employment options that one might think, but they help us build experience, right? Help us build a resume. So we have to think about, where is the individual now? What do they enjoy doing, and what have they done already? And then we can start building out from there. And everyone has something. And similar to the idea of networking, everyone has a network, even if they don't think they have one. So that's one of the hurdles that we end up with when working with individuals who haven't had a big work experience or a significant work experience. They say, oh, I don't know anybody. But really, when you start thinking about, okay, well, who do you have in your inner circle? Who are your friends and your family? Now, who do they know? And who do they know? How can we expand out that way? right? So really helping people understand the benefits of networking and really identifying who's in their network as another way to kind of expand the pool of potential employment that's out there.
I remember we had this one client that they were saying, I don't know anybody and I don't like anything to do but play video games, right? And I don't want a job in video games. So, but it happened to be that they like spending time with their grandma and they did a lot of crafts. So in several months, they ended up actually applying for jobs as activity director at different senior centers, and they got the job because it happened to be that they did like all this crafts, and that's why they like to spend time with their grandma because they liked actually hands-on different projects and all that. And it happened to be that in their sort of a few towns away, they were hiring for activity director for like 20 hours. So that was the most sort of unexpected job for this particular person because they again just thought like I don't know anybody, I don't like to do anything, and all that, and I don't know what I want to do. So sometimes it's just that creativity, open-mindedness, and just writing down things, what you like, what you don't like, and figuring out how it can be applied in on the job market.
Yeah, and I think that starts super early because I remember working with a school district and I was doing just a general introduction to autism kind of workshop there. And someone pulled me aside and said, oh, I think they were a power professional. They're like, one of the students I used to work with ended up, loved amphibians and loved like frogs. And it seems so like narrow.
Mm.
But they actually ended up connecting them because it was a big agricultural school. They connected them with someone who bred frogs, like these specific frogs. And so this student, like in junior year, was like visiting the store and the shop that they were like breeding and was learning so much about it, and then ended up getting a job there. So first just kind of it was almost like a made up apprenticeship in some ways. And so it was just so niche, but also this was an older person looking to maybe get new people in to run the business because they were like weaning away a little bit. So it's just sometimes you say that's like kismet, right? Like it's just who knows, but also just thinking a little bit more broadly than what's traditional. And I know the online world of applications and stuff like this young person was never going to find a job like on, any of the those websites that you just send your, I mean, or not likely that you would just like submit a resume to or apply online for. So I like the idea of thinking more broadly. So yeah.
Yeah, and luck can always play a part, right? So sometimes luck plays a part, but
Yeah, absolutely.
they say success is luck plus preparation, right? So the luck can come, but you have to be ready for it in order to really to leap on those opportunities. So that's our goal, right? Is to put the preparation in place, and hopefully some of the luck will come, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And so in that vein of prep, I know, we have in individual and family services have put together a lot of trainings, like workshops that we've done around finding the right fit and some of these more specific things. So I encourage folks to kind of seek us out and find some of that information. And we just did a employment panel with people who had what you were saying, Natalia, and Jessica also, like that more entrepreneurial spirit. And so they kind of they created like a portfolio type of employment where they did a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Some of them had relations to, a central theme, but some were just, no, I really enjoy this and I really enjoy this. So I spend part of my time doing different things, but they helped me feel like whole and doing the things that I really enjoy and have gainful employment from it. So that's the other goal, right? So yeah, I think folks should check out those things. And if they wanted to learn more about LifeMap, what would you suggest folks do with that?
They should schedule an informational call. And it I'm not really sure the best way to, do we link it or how do we
I think we can
offer
put it
that?
in yeah, well, you can put some of that, Ryan, right? We can put some of that in the
Yeah,
description.
we can link all of this in the description. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, you can go down into the description and find any of the links that are relevant to you.
Yep. And we really invite folks to schedule a 30-minute informational call. It is free, and it's your opportunity to learn about what we do and whether coaching might be something that is part of your arsenal to finding a job.
Great, thank you.
Well, I think this is a good place as any to leave it. I just want to say thank you to everybody here who, shared their information and their experience about working with clients and some of the insights that they've gained over the years. Um, Once again, if you are watching this video and any of the things that we're talking about sound like they could be useful for you or relevant to you, please go down and take a look at the description box. There's going to be a whole bunch of links in there that are going to take you to all different kinds of places that are going to be relevant to this. So, with that, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye,
Thank you.
Thank
everybody.
you.
Bye.